think we can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation because they're like boomers, basically, but then they have like all of the annoying traits of millennials, like avocado toast and I can't adult today. So they're the worst.
The pink hair girl is calling out Gen X, Gen Xers or Gen X, I don't know. And she's saying they are the worst generation ever. Are you Gen X? Are you the worst generation ever? The thing is that when I saw the video, I was seeing reaction on the video and it just made it all funny, or like you went to wake up a sleeping bear. People that don't want to talk, people that are dangerous. Like the millennials are coming out to tell her, like, what is your problem? Why did you have to go wake up the sleeping bear? We've tamed these people. You don't look for their trouble. And the thing is, I've looked for her everywhere on social media. I'm not even seeing her page. But then their reaction on this, because she's saying that Gen X are the worst generation ever. What is your take? Are you a Gen Xer or Millennial, Gen Z? I don't know. But she came to piss off Gen X people and she's saying that they are the worst generation ever. The audacity for her to say that. I have a reaction on this video to share with you. Let's go ahead and watch the stitches together and I'll be back to share my thoughts at the end of the video.
To the pink haired girl that pissed off all the Gen X's on TikTok, baby girl, are you alright? I can't even find the original video. She said that the worst generation is Gen X. Baby, the Gen X's have stepped from around the photos and music and have duetted and checked this little girl. It's the true definition of FAFO, and she had it coming. And baby girl, the millennials, we can't help you. We stand with the Gen X's. We just sitting here like, ooh, you've poked the bear. And it was unprovoked. It ain't the grizzle bear either. It's like the actual bear, and I can't do nothing for you.
I saw this video about the pink haired girl that was coming for Gen X, calling them the worst generation. Now me, I don't care because I'm a millennial, so I know I'm good. Millennials will go back and forth with you, Gen Zs all day. Gen Alpha, y'all can just talk to them how y'all want because they don't even really even matter right now. The boomers, they probably don't have social media. But baby, let me tell you, Gen X, that's my cousin, like my older cousins in them. You fuck around and find out with Gen X. I know in Brooklyn, there's this park and there's a fence that separated the park from like the neighborhood. And I remember they used to go over the fence and fight with knives. Like they used to cut each other up. So yeah, you can say all you want about millennials. You know, we're too tired and burnt out. We don't really care. We know we look better. Boomers, alphas, they're still children. But fuck around and find out with Gen X for sure.
Gen X is the worst generation.
Shut up. They can hear you. Okay, there is a whole reason why millennials decided to skip over Gen X and start beef with boomers. Because Gen X will literally strangle us in our sleep and not bat an eye. Knock it the fuck off.
I think we can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation.
Right, number one, from a generation that's gotten really good at not generalizing about anything. I mean, in terms of categorizing different forms of anxiety alone, you've come up with 33 and a half different types. Menu anxiety, ordering takeout over the phone anxiety, someone use punctuation in a text anxiety. And yet you have no problem generalizing that an entire generation can be awful.
So they're the worst.
Number two, do we know you? Have we offended you somehow? Did we do something to you?
Fuck Gen X, by the way.
Where the hell did he come from?
You motherfuckers really trying to get under the radar, ain't they?
Under the radar? When it comes to the world at large, our entire life history borders on non-existence.
I think there is a generation that we're leaving out.
See?
Fuck Gen X.
Ow. Again with that?
They suck. Gen X sucks because they do.
I'm sensing a common string of hostility here. Is it possible they hate us because they can't be us?
For those Gen Zers out there that don't understand the Gen X rise, let me explain it. The Gen X folks are the toughest people that currently exist in our world today. They are emotionally tough and they are physically tough. I am the oldest millennial. I was born in 82, but I had an older brother, so I was raised as a Gen X kid. And let me tell you a little bit about how we were raised. Nobody was watching us. Nobody catered to us. Nobody gave a flying flip where we were or what we were doing. We had to be home when the streetlights came on, and our parents just kind of expected that we would show up, and whatever happened in between, as long as we came home alive, good to go. We climbed water towers. We hopped fences we shouldn't have. We committed crimes, and nobody knew. We were 4 neighborhoods over. Shouldn't have been there, okay? Hanging out with people we shouldn't have been hanging out with. Doing crazy stunts on our bikes and falling down and hitting our heads because we didn't wear a helmet. It was a true F around and find out situation. And let me tell you, natural consequences are the best way to learn life lessons. So Gen X is smart.
Yeah.
They are mad street smart. Mad street smart. But the craziest part about them is that they stay completely unbothered. And so through all this mess that we call our world, they have stayed largely unbothered. They've put their head down, they've taken care of their business, they stayed out of it, but they've started to get sick of it. We've pushed the Gen X to their limits. Remember when Biggie said bad boys move in silence and violence? That's Gen X. We beat the absolute living crap out of each other when we were kids. And we didn't tattle. We didn't go tell our mommies that somebody hurt us, that somebody hurt our feelings, or somebody, bruised our ribs, or broke our wrist when they were twisting it and giving us an Indian burn just a little too hard. No, if the swelling didn't go down in 3 or 4 days, then they might take us for an x-ray. They learned the best life lesson, which is if you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough. And if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. But because they're also so freaking chill and they mind their business, they haven't done anything yet, but they're starting to. They're rising up and saying, okay, it's time for the smartest generation, the toughest generation, the most unbothered, the most resilient generation to get up and start saying something and doing something about this crap that we see going on right now. I don't think we're fully prepared to see what that generation is gonna do. Gen X is the oldest millennial. I salute you.
Fellow Gen Xer here. So apparently we've been awakened, we've been summoned, we've been called out. And first of all, we really don't care. We've been busily enjoying the battle between the millennials and the boomers far too much. Nonetheless, we feel the urge to respond, probably mostly because we're just excited someone's paying attention to us. As noted by so many of my fellow Gen Xers, we were the original latchkey kids. We were feral. We were sent out to go play all day. We played in woods and construction sites. We simply are unafraid. We were sent out with weapons, and we would do things that would scare most parents today. We probably suffered more concussions because there were no bicycle helmets and there were no car seats. So we are the ones who survived. We were bullies. If we found a weakness, boy, were we merciless in how we attacked it. We grew up at a time where movies were either PG or R-rated. There were no PG-13 movies. We grew up with PG movies like Poltergeist, let alone by the time we could drive, we'd probably all seen all the original slasher films, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so many others, Friday the 13th. And we were the ones who saw the Space Shuttle Challenger explode. We did that as we were watching it in our schools. I remember watching it in Miss Ivy's class, and we saw it explode over and over and over again. There were no counseling. There was no getting together to explore our feelings. And so the next day, what did? We cracked jokes about it because we were the generation raised on dark humor and sarcasm. And perhaps maybe we are the worst, at least certainly to each other. But I would argue for those of us with kids, we are raising a generation who are changing the world because we've instilled in them the ferocity and passion that we turned inward, that we are encouraging them to turn outwards. So yes, call us out. But beware, in addition to everything else, there's now a good portion of us that is either perimenopausal or menopausal, and that is a group I do not recommend messing with. They are scary, and they remember everything. So to anyone calling out Gen X, I wish you all the best. Good luck. Godspeed. It's been nice knowing you.
Gen X here, and I have a question. I have a serious question. I've seen the pink hair nose ring girl. I've seen the girl whose math ain't mathin'. A lot of these children from this generation. My question is, who raised these kids? I know it certainly wasn't a Gen Xer, because we are the survival of the fittest generation. Nobody cared about feelings. If we survived, it was because we were the fittest. We were the smartest. There's nobody looking out for us. I know I didn't raise my kids that way. I'm just really glad that Gen X is finally waking up. But although I think that we've been awake for a long time, we've just been watching and shaking our head, hoping that that whole survival of the fittest idea still rings true. But since there appears to be no consequences for any behaviors anymore like we had, I just hope we're not too late.
I think we can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation.
Now, Gen Z, I know that y'all don't take no shit from nobody, and y'all call shit out for what it is, but you are making it increasingly difficult for us millennial older siblings to protect y'all. We keep trying to tell you, we do not poke the sleeping bear known as Gen X, okay? Even when millennials speak on Gen X, we are very cautious about what we say. And that is because we were raised by them. Okay? Gen X is the last generation of people that actually know how to fight with their hands. Let that sink in for a moment or two. They will come to your house. If they wanted to fight you, they had beef with you, right? They're going to come to your house on a school night, have dinner with you and your family, meet your mama, and then proceed to walk you outside and fuck you up on your own front lawn. Don't nobody call police. No charges was pressed. The FBI didn't get involved. Not even SWAT. They just met your family, fuck you up, and go home like nothing happened. These are the people that raised us. Okay? Now, paint a further picture for you, right? I, being a millennial, raised by a Gen X parent, in a community of Gen X parents, if I did something at school, my classmates told their parents, who are Gen X, and their parents then told my parent, and so then I run the risk of potentially getting lectured and my ass whooped by 20 different sets of parents. The last one to discipline me is my own. To paint an even more vivid picture for you, when my mother was in her 3rd trimester of her pregnancy with my brother, I was about 8, 9 years old. I was in summer school. There was this girl in my class that kept fucking with me, and I had been telling my mother about it. And then one day, my mother came up to the school to pick me up. And I was surprised because usually it was, another friend of the family that would pick me up. But nevertheless, she came and got me. We're outside. The girl was swinging me around by my book bag. And then when we both looked up and saw my mom, she stopped. So my mother approaches her and says, "So you putting your hands on my daughter?" The girl's like, "No." My mother looked that little girl who's the same age as me, 9 years old, in her face and said, "You're a fucking liar. You put your hands on my daughter one more time, I'm going to put my foot so far up your ass that the next time you take a shit, you won't need toilet paper because my shoe will still be in there." She was 9. So take it from us, okay? Leave Gen X alone. Leave them alone. They're crazy for a reason. Okay, they done been through some shit. They've been through a lot of shit. Millennials have been through some things too, but not as much as Gen X. Leave them alone before they whoop your ass too.
I think we can all agree that if we're generalizing, Gen X is the worst generation.
Millennial here, and as an elder, I'd love to give Gen Z a little tiny piece of advice. You can screw with boomers, they might not even find your video. You can screw with millennials, we're too burnt out and tired to really care anymore. And you can mouth off to Gen Alpha because they're children, what the hell are they gonna do? But under no circumstances do you fuck with Gen X. Think of them like a hibernating bear. We tested the waters with them in the 2000s. And then by the end of the 2000s, we put them to bed. We gave them a glass of warm milk, some cookies, we sang them a lullaby, and we promised to wake them up if anything big goes on. But don't poke the bear, because if you do and you wake them up, millennials are going to step back, part like the sea, let them walk right through us straight to you. We will not help. Because there will be no safe spaces. There will be no political correctness. It will be an everything goes, all out, fight to the death, and they will win. And they have the best work-life balance out of all of us. So they got time to fuck you up. And most millennials, we're going to side with Gen X. So the advice is swing any other direction, but in the X direction.
I don't know why she want a piece of the Gen X. The Gen X generation. I don't know her aim. I don't know. Why would you just come out to start calling out a particular generation that they are the worst type of generation? Are you a Gen X? Are you a Gen Xer? Let us know in the comment section. What is your take on today's video? As a millennial, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I can't say Gen X are the worst generation. I just feel like sometimes Gen Z, you have to calm down. And I feel like the reaction on this video, there were a lot of reactions that I didn't put up here, that people were like, oh, you've woken up the bear, the sleeping bear, you've woken up people that don't even, like, they're streets, like they're very, you know, they're very tough. You've gone to look for trouble. And people are like, they've not seen our page. I remember me, I've not seen our page because I actually want to see the page. I think she posted this video for, I think, around May, because I saw the month went out around May. So I've not seen her page. I don't know her real page. I don't even know who she is. Because they were like, Gen X has silenced her already because she woke them up and everything. The red-haired lady that woke up the Gen Xers or Gen X. Oh my god, what is your take on today's video? It's a different kind of video. At least we're not talking about men in today's video. What is your take on today's video? If you're again, Maria Davis, kindly put your thoughts and your comments, your opinion, your suggestion in the comment section respectfully as usual. I'll see you all in my next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? And I'll see you all in my next one.